elephant. Not a metaphor, not a self-help concept. A real thing. Something that actually happens to these magnificent animals, and when I tell you the full story, I need you to stay with me. Because halfway through, you are going to realize I am no longer talking about an elephant. Are you ready? When elephant trainers want to control a baby elephant, they do something very simple. They take a rope, they tie one end around the baby elephant's ankle, and they drive the other end into the ground with a stake. The baby elephant feels the rope, and she pulls. She pulls with everything she has, because she is a living creature, and she wants to be free. She struggles, she strains, she fights, but she is too small, too young, too new to this world. The rope holds, the stake holds, and she cannot break free. So eventually, she stops trying. Days pass, weeks pass, months pass. The baby elephant grows, she eats, she drinks. She becomes something extraordinary, a creature of enormous strength. A fully grown elephant can uproot a tree with her trunk. She can carry the weight of a car. She can move through the world with a kind of quiet, unstoppable power that very few things on earth can match. And yet, that same elephant, now fully grown, now 10,000 pounds of pure sovereign power, is still held by the rope. The trainers no longer need a strong stake, a thin rope, barely buried in soft earth. That is all it takes, because the elephant never retested it. She decided, as a baby, that the rope could hold her, and she never questioned that decision again. She has been free for years. She just doesn't know it. Sister, when did someone tie a rope around your ankle? Because here is what I know about you, and I know this before you have said a single word to me. Somewhere in your story, someone, or something, told you who you were, and it was smaller than the truth. It was smaller than God's design for you. Maybe it was a parent who loved you but limited you. Maybe it was a culture that had a very particular picture of what a good woman looks like, and you didn't quite fit it. Maybe it was a relationship that slowly, quietly convinced you that you were too much or not enough. Maybe it was years of comparison, looking at other people's lives and deciding that something must be wrong with yours. Whatever it was, you felt it. You pulled against it. And then, like the elephant, you stopped pulling. And the terrifying thing? The rope has been loose for years. The stake is barely in the ground. You could walk away from it right now. But you don't know that. Because the belief is not in the rope. The belief is in you. The belief that says, this is just how things are for me. This is just who I am. This is just what I am capable of. That belief, that quiet, invisible rope, is what I want to talk about today. In Islam, there is a concept that I believe is the most important thing a woman can understand about herself. It is called Fitrah. Fitrah is the Arabic word for your original divine nature, the pure, God-breathed essence that was placed inside you before you took your first breath, before your parents named you, before your culture shaped you, before anyone's opinion reached you. God designed you, specifically, intentionally, with gifts and a calling that are entirely unique to you. That design, that is your fitrah. And here is the most important thing I will say in this entire video. Are you listening? Your fitrah was never destroyed. It was never removed. It was never lost. It was covered by years of conditioning, covered by the rope of other people's definitions, covered by fear and pain, and the slow, quiet erosion of a woman who stopped pulling against what was holding her. But beneath all of that, beneath every layer of who the world told you to be, she is still there, waiting, with the patience of something that knows it cannot be destroyed. The prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said, every child is born in a state of fitrah. Sahih Bukhari. Every child, including you came into this world with your fitrah intact, pure, whole, and full of divine potential. The rope came later, the conditioning came later, the smallness was learned. It was never original, which means it can be unlearned, which means the woman God designed is not somewhere out in your future. She is buried just beneath the surface, and she is waiting for you to remember her. So what are the ropes? What are the specific things that cover a woman's fitrah and make her forget who God created her to be? Let me name a few, and as I name them, I want you to notice which ones feel familiar. The rope of other people's definitions, the version of you that was built to make everyone else comfortable, the good girl who learned to shrink, the strong one who learned never to need anything, the difficult one who was told her strength was a problem. These are not your identity. They are a rope. The rope of cultural expectation, the specific picture your culture has of what a good Muslim woman looks like, and the quiet shame you carry when you don't perfectly fit it. That shame is not from God. God did not design shame as your motivator. That is a rope, the rope of comparison, the endless measuring of your inside against everyone else's outside. Social media showing you curated glimpses of other women's lives while you sit with the full, unedited reality of your own. Comparison is a rope tied by Shaitan himself, and it leads nowhere except further from your fitrah. The rope of past failure, the mistakes you made, or the things that were done to you that you have accepted as your permanent identity. What happened to you is not who you are. That is a rope, and perhaps the most common rope of all, the rope of unworthiness, the quiet belief that God's mercy, purpose, and design are for other women, better women, more spiritual women, more put-together women, not for someone with your history, your struggles, your particular brand of messy humanity. That is the thinnest rope of all, and it is the one holding the most of us. I know what it feels like to be a woman who prays, who tries, who loves God, and still feels like a stranger in her own life. I know what it feels like to have a vague, aching sense that you were made for something more, but have no idea how to find it beneath all the layers of who everyone else needs you to be. And I know what it feels like to remember, to find your fitrah again, to feel the rope fall away and discover that you were never actually trapped. You were just asleep. Awaken Fitrah is an invitation, not a self-help program, not a motivational platform, an invitation to come back to the woman God designed before the world got hold of you, to shed every layer of false identity, to find your divine assignment and build your entire life from that sacred, unshakable foundation.